Oh, Sleepy Joe's going to the border. Sleepy Joe. Like that's going to do anything. And we are off. It is 9:01 a.m. U.S. Pacific Standard Time here in Los Angeles. Thursday, January 5th, 2023 A.D., the first Thursday of the month, the first Thursday of the year. That means men's forum, guys. For men only, for guys only. Rebuildingtheman.com/events. Gonna have a fun loosey-goosey Thursday show. Have some Trump criticism to share from a lesbian woman, a gay who strayed from the liberals, but yet she's turning on Trump. Well, Trump is, he's a little bit liberal, but we appreciate him big time. I do anyway. I know I do any day anyway. I have some updates from another classy lesbian woman. I use the term classy perhaps a little loosely because is it an oxymoron to call them classy lesbian? Robin Roberts pics. Gross. Maybe I shouldn't even do that. But anyway, I have that. There's a Congress female, a demon rat from like San Diego area. She did a picture with her baby inside Congress, the Capitol. It's ridiculous. And some other shenanigans from girls, including black girls. Very entertaining clips with the blacks. And some screenshots from the blacks and Asians and stuff, fighting and shooting. We don't like to show stuff that's too graphic or disturbing because this is a family-friendly show, and also we don't like YouTube censoring our content. And some other things. The border is out of control. I mentioned Sleepy Joe's going to go to the border. Like that's going to do anything. Just give me a break. And, of course, your calls if you would like to call in. But anyway, guys, let's get right on with the show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La, la, la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La, la, la.
Hey, guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La, la, la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La, la, la.
So, how you guys doing? I am fine. I am wearing my handy-dandy Goodwill Hurley t-shirt that I found at the Goodwill before it got shut down over in, where was that, Arcadia area? I like it. I like the color. That's why I got it. And it's my size, roughly. So, how you guys doing? Can you believe Hake is back? FYI, I switched for the audio podcast people, just for your information, if you're having trouble finding the podcast, hopefully it'll all get ironed out. I switched from Podbean to Substack as my podcast host. I don't know if that's a good idea or not for sure, but, Substack is supposedly known to be more free speech friendly, so I went to Substack. Podbean has censored people. And also Substack, I don't think they charge you. Podbean, you pay over $100 a year to have a podcast host. So whatever, hopefully it all goes smoothly still. Unfortunately, they don't have an embeddable player that you can embed in other websites. So you don't see that on it's not polyester, the real Mr. Mad, I don't think. Hopefully it's not. Maybe, you know what, it probably has some polyester in it. Talking about my t-shirt. I don't like t-shirts that have too much polyester in them. I prefer 100% cotton. It doesn't stink as much. And it's not as hot. Anyway, I went to Substack. And so I hopefully it'll work out for podcasts, audio podcasts, which we upload the audio after the show, okay? FYI. So, thehakereport.substack.com. Let me get right into this story that I had to cut off Yesterday, I covered not libs of TikTok, which is another liberal woman who doesn't like the extreme liberals. I think of her as being liberal. She's Jewish anyway. Libs of TikTok. Chaya Reichik, something like that. Well, this woman's name is Jamie Mitchell, founder of Gays Against Groomers, the gay who strayed. I covered her story because she covered this 1946 2022 documentary about the mistranslation in the Bible of the word homosexuality, which shifted culture. As if the culture was pro-gay in the past and now it's anti-gay because there was a mistranslation in the Bible. Oops, I wasn't a real spit. I was pretending to spit. Although who knows, something may have come out. I should have grabbed my spittoon first. But so dumb. I covered that yesterday. She thought it's interesting because, she's supposedly maybe Christian friendly. I don't know what she is. I think I have pictures of her still. I put them back in the folder. This Jamie Mitchell Gays Against Groomers. That means that even though she's a lesbian, and shamelessly so, she's not for the transgenders and radical homosexuals pushing it on the kids. She's a woman claiming to be a lesbian, according to the Advocate magazine. So I covered this whole thing. Well, not the whole thing. That's why I'm covering it more. I forgot about this part. She did a little protest along with her group. And the transgenders, some cross-dressing males, maybe they were really what they call transgenders, I don't know, were like harassing and maybe even physically attacking her group. And I said she went on Tucker Carlson. Well, that's not the only reason she was on Tucker Carlson tonight, that show, back in, November or something, or September. She went on to talk about a ban from PayPal, and Venmo had banned her. So it's not just the transgenders and radical homosexuals who are going after her, but Venmo and PayPal, according to Fox News, in September of 2022, banned her company, her little 501c3 company organization, nonprofit organization. An LGBT organization that opposes a growing movement sexualizing children, according to its founder. They put out a statement back in September, saying they'd been banned by PayPal and Venmo. For what reason exactly, they don't really say. We've never gotten a violation before. They said that we violated, though, their user agreements, which we're not sure what in the agreement we violated. There was really no detailed message to that. This is just like the YouTube, Facebook, Twitter accuses you of violating terms of service. Well, Twitter is a little bit more clear in that they'll specify which tweet, usually, even though it's for a dumb reason. But they're all, breaking, we've just been banned from Venmo. Venmo is a online payment app or payment app. PayPal, same thing. I think Elon Musk co-founded PayPal. Within minutes of each other. Wow. Within minutes for violating their user agreements. We are an organization that consists entirely of so-called gay people whose only mission is to safeguard children from abuse. Woke homophobia is real, folks. Give me a break. Woke. There is no such thing as homophobia. Gays against groomers. And this stuff has been happening to the whites forever. Did you say anything back then? Maybe you did. Some people did. I've talked about the Proud Boys being banned, and way before them, Andrew Anglin and all these other, the Daily Stormer guys, Alex Jones and all these people. Kanye West. It's been happening for years, maybe decades, maybe a century. Is she mildly attractive, Hake? Yeah, she's quite pretty. I don't even think that maybe she's not even a real lesbian. Maybe I agree with the Advocate magazine, the far left radical homosexual Advocate magazine, Jamie Mitchell. I don't know what she is, if she's Italian or Hispanic or all the above. She talked to Tucker Carlson. Tucker's a nice guy. I like him. Per our regular process, the account was temporarily suspended after it was automatically flagged under our policies prohibiting bulk account creation. Under appeal, said Google, because Google, I guess, flagged them too and suspended them, but reinstated it. So they gave some thing. Anyway, she said her organization's being punished for its beliefs and accused the companies of suspending the accounts for standing on the side of pedophiles and child predators. What a mess, huh? And so that's been happening, but she is not that loyal. Very disloyal. Here's a tweet that she shared the other day. She bashed Trump. This is her. She shared a Jack Posobiec tweet screenshot of Trump, real Donald Trump Truth Social Truth. On Truth Social, they're called Truths. And Trump said, some really good conversations took place last night. This was a day or two ago, talking about the mess over in the House. They're trying to elect Kevin McCarthy, the rhino, for Speaker of the House. And Donald Trump is for Kevin McCarthy being Speaker of the House. Because Trump worked with Kevin McCarthy before, and Kevin McCarthy functioned or pretended to function under our greatest president, real Donald Trump. And so he's loyal to Kevin, right? And Kevin's so mainstream, he has the most votes of any of the Republicans, right? So anyway, some really good conversations took place last night, truth to Trump. And it's now time for all of the great Republican House members to vote for Kevin, close the deal, take the victory, and watch crazy Nancy Pelosi fly back home on her broom, I add. Trump didn't say that. To a very broken California. The only speaker in U.S. history to have lost the quote-unquote House twice, because she's been in there so long. Dinosaur. I almost said freaking dinosaur, but I don't want to say that in front of the kids. Sorry, kids. Sorry, adults. Dinosaur woman. I shouldn't compliment her by calling her a dinosaur. She's not tough. Republicans, don't be Republicans, is in effect Trump's message. Do not turn a great triumph into a giant and embarrassing defeat. It's time to celebrate. You deserve it. Kevin McCarthy will do a good job and maybe even a great job. Just watch. And so to that, Jamie Mitchell, founder of Gays Against Groomers, tweeted, ha 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 ha, laughing emojis with the tilted face and crying, with tears of laughter. How much more will it take to wake Trump cultists up and realize he is the swamp? Imagine wanting this guy to be president again. LM blank O. I put blank because the A is the A word. Sorry, kids. I should have blacked that out and censored it. Anyway, so I call that disloyal from a woman, a lesbian, a gay who strayed. She probably used to be a liberal, probably still is in some sense. Because how can you be a conservative and lesbian? But anyway, out of the closet lesbian. A lot of people don't know better than to be in that world, though, huh? Nowadays, they've brainwashed the culture to think it's all fine. Oh, be that way. By brainwash the culture, I mean brainwash people from childhood. And she's relatively young and mildly attractive. What are the 2s and 3s? Anyway, in the chat, I'm reading the chat. Trump isn't even entertaining anymore. That was the best part, says JJ. Trump is a coward and only worried about saving face and his ego, says Matt living the dream. I don't agree. I know that you guys are not necessarily the trendy anti-Trump people. There's a lot of trendy anti-Trump people on Twitter and on the mainstream. They're like, oh, it's time for Trump to move on and blah, blah, blah. He was too rough. He shot himself in the foot with his tweets and stuff like that. I know that that's not what you guys are saying. And I know that some people have said, oh, he's too nice to the gays, and we've all known that forever. And he's too nice to the abortion people, abortion exceptions, and we've known that forever. Notwithstanding, I still say he's the best man for the job. Has there been a better president in our lifetimes? Even with what you guys have said. So I like his spirit, even if he gets the some of the ideas wrong. Would any of us do any better? We'd have better ideas, but would we be able to execute on some of these things? So that's my take on it. Be loyal to the man who's been pretty loyal to us. I ain't anti-Trump. Nice. But y'all give him a pass. I do give him a pass. You got to give people a pass. But a lot of the criticisms that you guys have, some of them, are quite valid. Nixon, well, he's not in my lifetime. Nixon is a better president, says Matt Living the Dream. And I can't dispute that. And Nugget Man agrees. So those guys know more than I do. And I can't dispute it, but... and Nixon was not exactly effective either, in that he was forced to resign, you know. But he seemed like he was a solid guy. The more I learn about him, the more I like him. Richard Nixon. But Trump, come on. How about between him and Reagan? Who's better? Trump versus Reagan, who's better? 1 for Trump, 2 for Reagan. 3 for tie. 4 for don't know, don't care. Anyway, let me know. I will be reading your super chats. Thank you guys. Appreciate those. I see them coming in. I'm going to get to another lesbian and some other women and entertaining things. But first, let me get to Steve in the UK on the line. Steve in UK, how are you doing, man?
Not bad. How are you, Hake?
Doing fine, thank you.
Good. Had a good New Year and everything, mate. Good Christmas, yeah?
Yes.
Good. Yeah, I just wanted to sort of reiterate what you were saying about, you know, these lesbians and that talking, because really we shouldn't be listening to them. You know, it's okay that they're pointing out bad things, but it's sort of the degenerate culture that they're involved in that's brought about all this with the attack on children, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a mess.
It is. It's the sort of the same with the whole Carrie Lake thing, and it's like at the end of the day, she's a woman and she's got short hair as well. It's like I don't want to put my faith in women really at all, and I certainly don't want to put my faith in lesbians,
right,
or any other sort of degenerates, you know.
Yeah. No, it's not a good thing. We have like Lauren Boebert standing up in some sense, and we have Marjorie Greene standing up, and I don't know what they're into right now, but I appreciate them trying, but no, we don't need them. Go home, take care of your families, or get a family, or just be quiet.
Yep, I agree 100%.
Yeah.
It's like we need white Christian men to sort this mess out. We really do. Like, it's the same with like people with like, oh, Candace Owens. It's like, oh yeah, she says some great things, and like, yeah, maybe she does, but she's got a baby at home and she's out working, trying to be a man. Like, why would I want to listen to her?
Yeah. You know, conservative women talk out of both sides of their mouths. They act like, oh, they want men to be men and ladies to be ladies. Even the ones who are not in the public eye necessarily, they like, sometimes like they can't shut up about politics. It's like, it's one of the common flaws of women is that they get something in their head and they spout it off like they know something. And nowadays you have guys doing that too, but even still it's a woman thing to be doing. So it's not fitting for a guy to be doing that, spouting off like that, like he knows something too. Terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like the conservative women that I've dated, they're no different. They're just no different to liberal women. Yeah. Like they think they know more than you, and they say they want to listen to you at the start, but they don't. Yeah. You know, they don't. They're no different to the feminists, in my opinion. Like,
yep. It's the same thing as everywhere. The relationships between men and women, the men are weak, and the women don't want to listen, even though they pretend to want to. It's terrible.
Yep. It is. Well, it's destroying everything.
Yeah.
But I mean, it seems to be the only people that get let to fight against it for us are women or are gays or other degenerates. It's like we never seem to get any white Christian men that stand up in politics and, you know, fight our corner or whatever, so to speak, you know.
Yeah.
Like, and I won't have any part of it.
Good, man.
And yeah, I agree with what you were saying about Trump as well. Like, I do. Yeah, he has flaws, but we all knew those flaws before he even got in, didn't we?
Right. I don't see Trump as a pretender. I see Trump as what you see is what you get. Yeah, I mean, he's not going to tell everything because he's a businessman, doesn't tell everything. But he's made no pretense as to the homosexuality thing, the transgender thing, the abortion thing, and being like a mainstream guy and working with mainstream people. You work with people. So he never pretended that he was one of these guys who was going to pardon Edward Snowden or Julian Assange. He never made the pretense that he was going to at all about that. He was he's an independent thinker, but he's still like a mainstream type of a New York liberal who just broke out of it because he loves his father and speaks his mind. A man. Yep. So
he is. Yeah. Like you've always said, he has his downfalls, like he sucks up to women in the blacks too much, but that's you know, that is him. And you have to accept those flaws with him. Yeah. Overall, he's doing good things. Yeah. You know?
By far, what I appreciate about him is that he spoke the truth and stood on that truth despite all backlash, which was so refreshing to have a politician be real. He was just a genuine guy. When you saw him next to all those Republicans, all those rhinos, when it was him versus like 17 others, it was just a man among boys. Like, there's no comparison. Maybe if he was up there with Ronald Reagan and Richard Nixon, then he might have been like a boy among men or a younger man among more solid men, maybe. But I don't know. I mean, go ahead.
I mean, I think of it like this. Like, I mean, how many other politicians would have said what they said about Charlottesville and not backed down and apologized?
Right. Yeah.
You know, I loved by what he said. Like, and he stuck up for us in that way. You know, he didn't let the liberal media basically say that they're all Nazis and these people are all freedom fighters or whatever nonsense they want to spin.
Right.
He stood on what he said and said, no, there is good people on both sides.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know any other politician in my lifetime. I'm not old enough to know Reagan or Nixon, like you say. Then when I do read about them, I do, you know, the more I read about them, the more I like them. But I don't remember any in my time, and there certainly hasn't been any in the UK. Like, they're just cowards. Like, whatever the media tell them to apologize for, they will do. You know, they're afraid of losing votes, where Trump isn't. He's just like, no, I said that, and I'm going to stand by it.
Yep. Like, I think that the people on the right need to be more unified. Like, kind of like Christians should be more unified. We have our disagreements, but we love one another, and we don't backbite or turn on each other and backstab. And even if we feel like we've been backstabbed by others, we don't turn around and backstab back or necessarily we don't have this spirit of revenge and division and perfectionism about all the things. You can have your strong disagreement, but Trump is a practical guy and he's sought unity. And there were people who were at Charlottesville or who supported the Charlottesville guys who were displeased with Trump's statement about Charlottesville because he gave credence to the anti-white narrative. But Trump he's in that anti-white narrative. He was brainwashed by that. So he believes in this racism thing and white supremacism. So you cut him slack for that. He still stood on what a fair-minded person who believes that stuff would think. So you should support him for that. Don't feel like you've been thrown under the bus if you believe in white nationalism and you don't like Trump condemning white nationalism. He still was fair-minded, and if he were to meet with you and talk with you, speaking to the white nationalists who are mad at him, He would be.
Yeah, of course.
He would be. You would be quite pleased with how reasonable he is. He listens.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And all these people that complain, it's like, you're going to vote for him anyway. So
yeah,
stop complaining. Like, it's like, where were you before Trump came along?
Right.
You have no even defending your side in any way.
Yeah.
You know? So you've really not got that much to complain about. Like you say, we've all got what we really want out of politics and that, but we need to put all that aside and, get together that we can win and we can actually implement some decency.
Yeah.
Because if we don't, just...
And anyway, like JLP says, the country's gone. But even still, like, we who are Christians, who want what's right, who may not be Christians but want what's right, should be uniting one with another as much as is possible. I know you're not going to be united with everybody, and I know that some people don't want to get along. You don't have to try to get along with everybody. But as far as it depends on you, I think the Bible even says that, and it's just common sense wisdom. As far as it depends on you, get along with every man. Don't be such a I want to say Nazi, but I don't want to say Nazi because Nazi has other connotations. Don't be such a stickler. Don't be so anal. Sorry, kids.
Yeah. No, it's true. It is. Petty differences aside, stop being petty. Basically.
Right.
Like, supposed to be above that. Like, So.
And I know it's important issues. They are important issues that you guys disagree with about, but even still, like, the spirit is petty, even amidst the important disagreement. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And if you walk around with being petty, no one's going to follow you. You're not leading by example in that way, are you? And no one's willing to follow you.
Right.
Because that's the most important thing that I've ever learned from Jesse, in my opinion, is that you're not going to change people with arguing with them by whatever. The only way you change anything is by leading by example.
Right.
And, I've seen that sort of show in me and my daughter. Just like before, when I was telling her what was right, she was struggling. But now that I just lead the way and show her what's right, she's showing huge improvements in the kind of person she is.
That is so cool, man.
Life,
That is a great tip, I think, for relationships, friendships, and families. You don't have to argue the point because, the point is so clear to you, but she may not want to listen. But if you just calm down and lead, and you're right, JLP doesn't fall into the ego battle of an argument over some dumb point. He will rise above that and just address them as a person and deal with like normal real life stuff like resentment, all that stuff.
It's just all the simple stuff, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
It is, because everyone's always trying to overcomplicate everyone.
Yep.
Especially with it being Bible Thump Thursday today.
I know.
You know what the Christians are like. They want to complicate everything when God's simple, really.
So true.
Yep.
That's cool, man. Great to hear from you, Steve, in UK. In the UK.
Definitely, mate. You take care of yourself, Hake. I'll speak to you another time, mate.
All right. Happy New Year to you. Take care.
Same to you, pal. Bye-bye.
Right. Bye. Steve in the UK with some wisdom. Shout out to Jesse Lee Peterson. I'm on his network. And a humble man with wisdom in dealing with people. It's important, for sure. Nice. So, let me get to some super chats, guys. I have some over there on Odyssey. Brandon M. yesterday gave a generous, in my opinion, donation. Super chat over there. ODYSEE. Thank you, Brandon M. I appreciate that if you're listening and if you're not listening. Asmodor with the super chat states, I was happy with Trump's statement. Yeah, exactly. What is not to be happy with regarding, and I believe he's referring to Trump's statement about Kevin McCarthy. Take the win, guys. Kevin McCarthy will do a good job, maybe even a great job. And that could be debatable, but still, come on. Right? Based America First with a super chat on streamlabs.com/the Hake Report regarding Monday's debate. Brenton Langle, B. Langle, doesn't believe the adage that good times make weak men. Brenton Langle was a fellow viewer on Modern Day Debate. I was debating against a Stardust, the young lady, about are they making men more effeminate? Yes, they are, I say. And I said part of it is because we have too good of times. We're too spoiled. Good times make weak men, and we're in that situation right now. And there's a bunch of other stuff going on too. Subversion, very unchristian influences, purposely, very, very unmanly cultures, which is also unchristian influence, and other things. Subversion, right? Brenton Langle doesn't believe the adage that good times make weak men. Means times should always be tough to make tough men. The Course of Empire paintings by Thomas Cole, 1833, depict this well-known cycle, as well as many writings throughout history. Thank you, Based America First. Maybe a poor example, Gideon's army in Judges 7 was successful in part because Midianites became lazy and didn't expect an attack, scattering in confusion. Proverbs 30, verse 8. Give me neither. Oh, this is that Bible verse that I think I mentioned. Proverbs 30, verse 8. Thanks for looking that up, Base America First. Give me neither poverty nor riches, lest we forget God. Encourages vigilant balance. Yeah. Right now in America, we're out of balance. Yeah, we're supposedly there's a lot of wealth in America, and I believe it. But that is the forget God level of wealth. I talked about usury. Usury is worse than slavery, somebody said in the chat. And I could think of ways in which it is accurate. Nice, Based America First. Thank you. Gregatron says to Hassan, this one's to Hassan. Hassan, whenever Hake says, to this day, make sure you hit the to this day button shortly after. That's how Chris did it. That's how Chris did it.
To this day.
Thank you, says Greg Atron. Thank you, Greg Atron. And he did it. And thank you, Deontay Wilder, the black man. You know we've been fighting 400 years to this day. We love blacks. Jordanos says, urban style shirt with your black listeners will like that. Your black listeners will like this. Oh, you think this Hurley shirt is urban style? Appreciate that. It's sort of a white man t-shirt. I almost said white boy, but I don't want to abuse a slur upon the white young men. Shout out to the whites. Do I need a tan? I don't know. Thank you, Jordanos, for the super chat, who also gave another and said, what do you think about the WalkAway founder, Brandon Strzok, which is spelled Straka? He went through hell as a patriot for supporting Trump for the January 6th setup. He was in January 6th. He was a mostly peaceful patriotic protest. In fact, he was probably completely peaceful. They deemed him as a terrorist. He shamed the politicians at CPAC. So he participated at CPAC. Brandon Strzok, and he is a radical homosexual in that he is out of the closet. He used to be a hairstylist and used to be a liberal. And then he's like, you know what, the liberals are mean and nasty. I'm a conservative now, or something to that effect. He really appreciates and loves Jesse Lee Peterson. I have no problem with him. I totally disagree with him being out of the closet and thinking that that's fine. But he is Christian friendly as those guys go. And everybody got their issues. Nobody's perfect. I hate to use that term, but he's always been fair to JLP. He had JLP speak at a WalkAway thing, along with some other black people and others, maybe some Hispanics, maybe even a white. So the WalkAway thing, you know, I appreciate him for what he is, and what he is a nice guy trying to do what's right. So that's cool. Better than the liberals, who are also sometimes nice guys, but not very nice at heart, really. trying to do what's right, you know? Anyway, is that too gracious? I don't think so. So right on. And who knows, maybe one day he will see better and repent. We all got to repent. Asmodor goes on with another super chat on Odyssey, Odyssee. Quote, I'm unhappy with his support of McCarthy, referring to Trump. I was referring to his Charlottesville statement. Oh, nice. Oh, right on. Yeah. Thank you, Asmodor. Yeah. Trump's Charlottesville statement, he's all, I condemn the white nationalists and white supremacists totally. But there were some very fine people who were not for the tearing down of the Confederate monuments. And Asmodor, although he may be characterized as a white nationalist of sorts, right? Thinks that the whites should be the ones running their own country, right? For us and our prosperity, the founders said. And he probably disagrees with Trump on that, is my guess. But he was happy with this statement. Nice. Some people are just unreasonable. You expect Trump to be like totally in line with what you're about. You assume that he's going to be like that. No. It's not that you expect him to do this or that. I didn't expect him to do like ban the bump stocks, for example, or support red flag laws, which I heard he did. But I'm not surprised by it. He's like a mainstream sort of a guy. He doesn't see that as a major concession on the Second Amendment, which we shouldn't give any concessions. I agree with you guys. But it's not a reason to stop supporting him. There's a guy, KT, in D.C. who is not even going to vote for him. So who would he vote for? I don't know. Happy New Year, KT, if you're listening in D.C., Washington, D.C. So thanks for the super chats, guys. And you can also super chat on Rumble. I am streaming on Rumble. I think I'm the only one watching on Rumble. Kind of like a lonely Twitter over there. But that's all right. We appreciate you, Facebook crew. Are you over there? Are you in the chat? And D Live and YouTube. And Twitch, if anybody's watching on Twitch. And Odyssey, of course. So let me get to, speaking of the gays, Robin Roberts. Don't show these pictures too long. To me, they're too vulgar. Cover your eyes, kids. I have some pictures. It's gross. I think I have some pictures. Robin Roberts is a black lady. And I call her lady. Plans to marry her longtime partner. Am I using the term loosely when I say lady? So this is from Wednesday's Hake News yesterday. Commie Nonsense Network, CNN, interracial. But the good thing is neither of them are guys. Gross. They're standing in front of a GLAAD in Gilead. GLAAD. Gays and lesbians against defamation. Something like that. And that's all they do is defame the whites and the Christians and the decent people and the men. Robin Roberts plans to marry her longtime partner this year, says CNN Entertainment. Reporting from some woman. Her girlfriend, Amber Lane, Laign, after 18 years together. Amber Lane is a 48-year-old white female, purportedly white, I don't know. Not a normal white. And Robin Roberts is a southern black female, skinny. Is she a real lesbian? She's skinny. But she has short hair, so I kind of believe it. Commie Nonsense Network falsely calls it good news. That's fake news. It's not good news. First of all, it's fake news that it's a marriage, because it's not a marriage. She's the Good Morning America team. She's on the Good Morning America team. Star co-anchor Robin Roberts is tying the knot this year. Fake marriage. Lesbian. Terrible. I explained yesterday in Hake News, I believe, on Jesse Lee Peterson's show, that Robin Roberts is a 62-year-old Mississippi-raised woman. Her parents instilled in her the 3 Ds, discipline, determination, and D-Lord. D is in the Lord. Inside of her. Huh. Not that good of D-Lord. If you're a 62-year-old boomer, accepting homosexuality is fine. 62 is boomer, right? And she's with that 48-year-old woman. 62, 48, 14 years, roughly. Since 2005, they've been, quote unquote, together. She got cancer in 07 or so, give or take. She overcame that cancer with the help of modern medicine. Modern medicine allows you to live longer, said a wise man many times, I've heard. She's a women's basketball Hall of Famer, whatever that means. What's famous about women's basketball other than that it's famously hard to watch? All these little ladies popping up, not that little sometimes, popping up, doing jumpers. You just see a whole bunch of little popping up is all I can picture women's basketball. There was one Ilhan Omar girl looking girl, Somalian, talented baller. I shared it on YouTube and my YouTube community post on the Hake YouTube channel, the Hake Report YouTube. She was fun to watch, but the whole rest of this women's basketball stuff, they called that woman who was captured for being loaded up with drugs with a little bit of a fraction of an ounce or something in her vape juice, pot vape juice, which is very potent. Brittany Griner. I only know Brittany Griner because she was captured. Kind of like McCain, John McCain. She's a basketball superstar. Yeah, right. Anyway, this woman, she's a Hall of Famer, women's basketball. Anyway, she came out shamelessly lesbian in 2013. So for years, she was not public about it, which was to her credit, right? It's better to hide your issues. It's called common decency. Don't flaunt it. That's disgusting. But she's a child of, is she a child of the 60s? So those people flaunt their stuff, and everybody since. In 2013. And then she was given an award by the radical homosexuals, some disgusting group, in 2015. She was raised better than that. Raised in the South with discipline, determination, and D-lower to the 3 Ds by her parents? Apparently not. Apparently she was not raised better than that. I could believe that she was raised with some form of discipline and determination because, she's been in the media. And yeah, it's probably affirmative action too, but she's been in the media as presents a classy face somewhat as far as the mainstream liberal media goes for years. So I can appreciate on that on some physical level. Someone said in the chat, in the Hake Report, the Hake News, Jesse Lee Peterson chat, we don't need to know about these relationships. And I agree, but the mainstream media is touting it as a good thing and yay and congratulations and they're promoting it. They promote this stuff like crazy. Someone should be pointing it out that it's wrong. It's refreshing to hear it pointed out and that it's wrong. Yeah, I agree. It's kind of disgusting to be showing pictures like that. I don't like when other conservative accounts show pictures of these dirty transgenders all dressed all scantily and nasty. Ugh. Doing sick things. I saw on Twitter recently, just this morning, somebody was sharing this little transgender little kids, young, like under 18, maybe under 12, who knows? Being all, like boys being all effeminate. Speaking of the feminization of men, making men, so-called men and boys, more effeminate. Remember the mainstream media, Good Morning America itself, I think. Robin Roberts' channel, Michael Strahan, wasn't he a football player, a famous football player? He was the co-host of this show some years back of showing 11-year-old at the time, Desmond is Amazing, 11-year-old boy, doing like a stripper almost dance with fluffy, girly, sexual outfit. And his two nerdy parents sitting in the front, purportedly white, probably not normal white, I don't know. Maybe they are. Dad looking all beta, like, ugh. Where's my spittoon? I got to get that in a second. So yeah, they're celebrating the making men effeminate. Yeah, I hate those conservative social media accounts that show transgenders dressed up all gross. I unfollow those accounts. I just don't like to see it. Maybe I'm the weak one. Got a weak stomach. Sick. So, repent, Robin Roberts. You need that third D back. D-Lord. Somebody said there's a joke in there somewhere, and I'm not going to get into that stuff because this is a children's friendly, family friendly show. You guys are terrible. I disavow. Where is Desmond now? Let me see. Desmond is amazing, and he's a drag queen, age about 15 years old. Oh my gosh. So if you want to see an example of the satanic, demonic devilishness, I'm tempted to show you guys the screenshot, but I think I will show you guys the screenshot. Cover your ears. Cover your eyes, children. Cover your eyes, faint of heart. I don't like to do this too much, and apologies if this is a bad idea. But here's Desmond is amazing, age, and it has a picture of him from when he was like, what? It looks like he's 9 years old there. Maybe he's 11 there or something. I dragged screenshot into the folder. It's called screenshot. 2023-01-05, 9:47. It's 9:47 a.m. here? Oh my gosh. And so show it for 5 seconds. Cover your eyes now. Talk about sexualizing children. That's indisputable. That's disgusting. And they do that with little girls, too. That's wrong for even little girls to be dressed like that. All this makeup and hair done all long. Okay, that's enough. That's more than 5 seconds. That's sick. Desmond Napoles, American child drag performer known by the stage name Desmond is Amazing. Be Amazing. The History of Pride, a children's picture book with text by Napoles. Napoles is, what is that, Greek? And illustrations by Dylan Glynn, published in June 2020. Born in 2007 in Manhattan, New York. Parents Wendy Napoles and Andrew Napoles. Be Amazing. A History of Pride is a book by this kid. And he has a Instagram, a YouTube, a TikTok, a Twitter. Meanwhile, normal, decent whites who are standing up for normal, decent whites can't even have any of those, many of them. And Christians? Where are you on that, Robin Roberts? Anyway, thank you guys for bearing with me through that. Let's get to a call. Keith in Illinois on the line. Keith, how are you doing?
All right. Hey, how are you? And Happy New Year to you and the team.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Yeah, I just wanted to, your comment on what I have to say. I like your rebuttal. I've been studying this, the Biden administration and some other administrations too. And if you really think about it, you could literally put Kookie and Ray Ray in charge, vice president and president of the United States, okay? You would have the same problems of things might be better, okay? You would have a $32 trillion debt for sure, okay? Now we're talking about a meth head and a crackhead, okay? Vice president and president, they could be a meth head and a crackhead. Really, think about this. You would have the same, high inflation. You would have the same, border crisis. You would have crime, chaos, murder, mayhem, poverty, drug addiction, alcoholism, mental illness. You would have the same problems. The United States would be in the same predicament if you just literally put a crackhead for president and a meth head for vice president. These people keep electing the same. A lot of government officials have been in there 40, 30 years. Some 50. You know what I'm saying? But why do people keep electing the same people, and they keep doing the same thing? It's like, would you go to a restaurant to serve you bad food, bad service, and overcharge you? 100% of people say no. Okay, but why do you keep electing the same people to do the same thing? That's what I don't understand. Somebody need to explain this to me, because you can literally put a crackhead and a meth head, president and vice president, and it might even be better. So somebody explain that to me. I'd like your rebuttal on that.
Interesting, man. Yeah, I think that we would be better off if we got some non-political people. Of course, the non-political people get railroaded by the deep state, the people, the permanent employees or the semi-permanent employees, unelected people who are running the government,
Right, but that's why I say get rid of all of them. Get rid of. We had a good guy in there, Trump.
Yeah.
He had good. He had a good economy. He had low inflation. He had low interest rates. We had everything we wanted because we didn't have a deep state person in there. People, that's what I'm trying to say. Why do you people keep, not you, of course, keep electing the same people to do the same thing? I just don't understand it. You're going to get the same outcome. $32 trillion in debt. We lose every war we ever get in. We spend all that. We give our money away to, but they do not we. I'm sorry. They give away our money to every country that that hold their hand out. Why do people keep electing? And whoever you out there listening to ask your family members, your friends, your socials, why you keep doing this when you see what they're doing to this country? You got to be insane yourself. I just had to say that. And your rebuttal would be.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, man.
Okay.
Big Bump says, Keith isn't lying. Same with voting in McCarthy. That would be the same as keeping Pelosi as speaker. Yeah, effectively, it's the same thing. They act like, oh, we need to get this over with so we can get back to work. I don't care about your work. You're gonna investigate Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. I don't care about that. You know what I mean? They're not. It's not that you're going to do anything about it.
Well, every time they get in this little fake jam session, right?
Yeah.
Everybody want to hold mirrors in front of everybody. You're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. But it just seems to be the same old con game going on forever. I'm serious. I just don't know how nobody can keep doing the same thing and not call yourself insane when these people got you $32 trillion in debt. Border out of control, chaos, murder, mayhem, inflation. It's like, what the? I just don't get it and think these people, somehow when they propagandize you on the media, that they're better than the other people. They're better than them. How? Like I say, we'd be better off with our crackhead and our meth head for president and vice president. I just had to say that. I just want others to really think about that. From now, how could you choose the lesser of the two evil? You should not want to choose evil, period. Who made that? Who made that saying up? Another politician.
Oh, choosing the lesser of two evils?
Yeah, a politician made that up. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. And you know what? He was the greater of Sleepy Joe and Cackling Kamala were the greater of two evils.
Well,
really?
I do agree with that too, but they need to get rid of that phrase, we're going to choose the lesser of the two evils. No, you need to choose no evil, period, because either way you're going to lose, dummy. Yeah. Whoever you are, dummy. Okay, so that's just all I had to say. I'm glad that people going to, hear my perspective that, you do better with a crackhead and a meth head in the White House, and all the rest of them, senators and congressmen, they all, it just, how could you vote for these people when they have totally destroyed this country and think that, one is better than the other or somehow, you benefited from one to the other when you see, what's really going on. But that's all I had to say. You guys, and I'll talk to you soon. That's all.
Did you vote for Trump?
Of course, always. Because I like the policies. America first. I looked at this 4 years. Interest rate was home interest rate was down to 2.75. Now it's 6.59. Inflation was 1.59. Now it's 7%. It's nothing to even think about. So and then people are losing 30-40% of their 401ks.
Wow.
Right now they're losing every aspect in inflation, the cost of living. Your 401k is down 40%, and somehow you think you picked the right candidate. I'm like,
I know. I like him not because of his policies. Some of the policies I like as well. Getting rid of regulations and different things like that. But and being strong on the border, or trying to be anyway, and trying to go after Hillary, even though his own lawyers held him back. But I liked his spirit. It's nothing like having a confident, competent man running the show, because in many ways he brought we had respect from the people who need to be respecting us. Putin, Little Rocket Man, Xi Jinping. We had the respect of those world leaders who matter, not the ones who don't matter.
Even China respected us, right? Everybody, they all did. But they got this old. And why would you vote for an 80-year-old person to do anything besides go to sleep and drink warm milk? I don't. Get
And he
that
looks, and he looks every bit of that 80 years. I know
Man,
80-year-olds.
If you took off that makeup, if you took that makeup off him, he would look like he was about 150 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And just got out of the grave. Somebody just dug him out the grave. I mean, that's what he would look like.
You know what's funny?
All these 80-year-olds you see up there, Feinstein. If you saw
She's gone,
what's her
right?
name? Maxine Waters, all of it's like, how do you people keep electing these old satanic people,
Yeah.
and somehow you even back them in some of their propaganda? I'm just saying, hey, I really don't understand this, man. I just don't.
Yeah.
No. So
Barbara
thanks for
Feinstein
calling.
is 89 years old. I think she's
I
out
know,
now.
man. Come on.
Maxine Waters, the Wicked Witch of the West with the low IQ, as JLP calls her, and Trump, 84 years old. You know who's doing better in his 80s because he's such a mama, is phony Fauci. Fauci's doing better in his 80s, and he's older than Sleepy Joe Biden. And Trump is pretty sharp and he's getting up there. He's still pretty sharp, I would say.
Oh
So-
yeah, I was saying the same thing. Yeah. So I just wish that I say this on every new chance I get on conservative sites. I type it up all the time just to make people really think. You know what I'm saying? $32 trillion in debt, and then all this is going on, and you can literally put a crackhead and a meth head.
Yeah.
Literally. And we
Yep.
would be better off in vice president and president. So, that's all I had to say. Hey,
Thank you,
thanks
man.
again, man. I'll be in touch soon. All right.
Happy New Year, Keith. Good to hear from
All
you.
right. You too, buddy. All right.
Take care. Keith in Illinois. Nice. So now is time for some music, guys. It is still Christmas time. This is from Lujo Records, 2004, Christmas 2004. It's a compilation, All I Want for Christmas. And this is the Wheeler sisters. Wheels, like wheels? Wheeler sisters. Don Oíche Úd mBeithil, something like that. I think that's called That Night in Bethlehem. Enjoy, guys. I think you will like it. Or grin and bear it. Cover your ears, you musical Philistines. I'll be right back for hour 2. Hang tight.
I sing of a night in Bethlehem, a night as bright as dawn. I sing of that night in Bethlehem, the night the Word was born. The skies are glowing gaily, the earth in white is dressed. See Jesus in the cradle, drink deep in his mother's breast. And there on a lonely hillside, the shepherds bow in fear when the heavens open brightly and God's message rings out clear. Glory now to the Father in all the heavens high, and peace to his friends on earth below is all the angels cry. saw the angels cry.
Thank you, Wheeler Sisters. Nugget Man says, press mute. Never listen to Hake, Satan worship music mess. Satan worshiping music mess. Mildly attractive voice, says Canadian David. I agree. Still, crima music, says JS Urban Adventures. JS Urban Adventures is not a fan of crima music. Crima. This bet not be Christmas, says Wrinkle Hands Bing Bong. Well, yes, it is. Thank you guys for bearing with me through that beautiful music. The song plays over the credits of Hake, the movie. Buffering, thankfully. This is nice. Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate it. I like it. This is beautiful, says the well girl. Thank you, Hake. I'm listening to only Christian music this year. Hashtag 2023. I wish you well with that. You know, tomorrow's the last day of Christmas for Hake Report music. So, all right. Hopefully you can bear with me. Tomorrow is a great holiday. It's patriotic, mostly peaceful Capitol protest anniversary, and Armenian Christmas, which is to say Orthodox Christmas, which is what? Epiphany. The three wise men from the east. We three kings of Orient are. Were they Asians? Bearing gifts, we travel afar. Field and fountain, moor and mountain. Traveling yonder star. Something like that. They followed the star to find Jesus a couple of years after he was born. Something to that effect. Sounded like stupid Christmas music. Don't say stupid, kids. Yeah, Sion wanted to cry, right? Didn't she say, this makes me want to boo-hoo? I thought she said something to that effect. This song make me want to boo-hoo. I know. Isn't that, we're such mamas, aren't we, Sion? It's so emotional. I love the sound of some of those traditional Christmas songs. What was that? What language is that? This Don Oíche Úd mBeithil. Something like that. Is it German or Russian or something? Shout out to those people anyway. Enough of that. Shall I read some more super chats? Yes, I think I will. And maybe I'll read some of your anti-Trump chat stuff as an olive branch to the anti-Trump people. You guys can call in, but anyway, let me read these older supers that from the backlog. October 20th, 2023, when I was out all those months, Based America First gave a super saying, great job pronouncing white male British names of newly elected UK Prime Minister Liz Truss's cabinet. Yeah, white, as in non-white, non-male, non-British names. Liz Truss. September 5th. September 5th, I assume that I read Hake News. Oddly, I didn't understand a word. They progressively resigned over trying to reduce taxes by 5%. Now Liz Truss has quit after only 45 days. Remember that, guys? Remember that? Put a woman in charge. I'm going to get to the women. That was October 20th. October 27th, Based America First says, quote, ignoring 31,000 public opinions and hundreds of analyses based on data, the CDC unsurprisingly voted 15-0 to add mRNA COVID shots. That's the messenger RNA that changes your DNA. China virus vaccinations, so-called vaccinations, to the pediatric schedule. Ignoring 31,000 public opinions and hundreds of analyses based on data. Voted 15-0 for the vaxx for the kids. Pediatric schedule. Pediatric means kids, right? Pfizer and Moderna quadrupled their cost. That means up to 2 injections per year for kids ages 6 months to 19 years old. It's insane. Stupid CDC. Sorry, kids. Scared CDC Director Rochelle Walensky and Joe Obama, that's Sleepy Joe Biden, who is a puppet of Obama, who is probably a puppet of the deep state, right, the establishment, test positive for the China virus. Oh, yeah, Sleepy Joe and Rochelle Walensky on October 27th, roughly, tested positive for the China virus again. Has anyone else noticed that multi-vax leaders keep catching the China virus? While peons die suddenly? Are leaders ill or just on vacation? Are televised vaccine injections propaganda? Indeed, they are propaganda. Whether they're fake, staged propaganda or real, genuine vaccinations. Remember Sleepy Joe rolls up his sleeve? He likes to roll up his sleeves, show off those arms, those 90-year-old arms. Whose arms are bigger, Hake's arms or Sleepy Joe Biden's arms? Don't answer that. I need to go to those Wilmington, Delaware swimming pools and go swimming in the water over there, in that greasy water. I'm just kidding, blacks. I'm just kidding. That oily water. Too much stay soft fro in that water. Anyway, too much. Blacks have nice skin sometimes. Too much. What is that? What is that? Coconut oil in that water. Well, anyway, guys. Too much something butter, cocoa butter. Thank you, Hassan. He knows. Maybe I should use that stuff. Be good for my skin. Anyway. Televised vaccine injections. Oh, yeah, that's going to convince me. I wonder who falls for that. What type of person falls for that? Probably not Christians. Anyway, thank you guys for the super chats. Shall I read those as promised? Those. Here is some opposition to the Trump. I feel like I just feel like I kind of want to read some of this stuff for you guys. By the way, people were, when I asked about vote 1 for Trump, 2 for Reagan, as far as who's better, got a lot of 1s, some 2s, some 3s for don't care, they both stink. Some 4s for don't care. 5 for Jesus. This is Nugget Man. A lot of mostly 1s though, which you don't want to go with the crowd. So it's not a democracy. It is where's the truth. So there hasn't been a better president for over 50 years. Says the negative. Matt Living the Dream says, Ronnie got stuff done. He didn't say stuff. He says SH something. Trump pumped up his ego and sold us all out. I don't know. I don't think of Trump as having quite such the ego that some people think that he has. He may. Sold us out with his hires while in office. Can't really dispute that. Reagan authorized secret initiatives to sell anti-tank and anti-aircraft, says Teddy Patton. Anti-aircraft missiles to Iran in exchange for that country's help in securing the release of Americans held hostage by terrorists. That's fine, right? Is there anything wrong with that? I don't know. Trump is a deep state player, always has been. You think so? In some sense, I can't disagree in that he goes with the mainstream, which is established basically by the deep state, or the deep state is part of the mainstream. He claimed to know how it all worked because he used it to get business and tax breaks. Trump was ineffective. In many ways he was, but in some ways he was quite effective, I say. The economy was doing a lot better. And, the border was doing a little bit better. And really, like, his spirit, that's what I voted for him for. The courage to stand on the truth. And a genuine type of a guy. But anyway, Nugget Man says, Trump is the equivalent of a... Cover your ears, kids. Hopefully you don't understand this. Don't ask your parents. You won't find out when you're older. A pump and dump for politicians. So says Nugget Man. I think that's a little uncharitable, but who knows? And he's still trying to win. He's still trying to get at it. I think he sacrificed a lot. I think he really loves the country. The Contras was George Bush CIA game. Ronnie showed us that the country was being subverted. Interesting. Andrew Jackson was the only president to ever run the banksters out and run the USA with money in the bank. Trump tripled the debt, gave us a clot shot, and entrenched the banks further. Morons, says Matt living the dream. Did Trump balance the budget and stop the invasion at the borders? Did he secure the dollar against the speculators? Y'all caught up in their narrative. Could he have done that, though? Possibly. Could he possibly have done that had he had the sense the wherewithal to try, you know? Or is that an unreasonable expectation of any president nowadays? I don't know. A lot of people are for ending the Fed. And so there is something to that, which I don't know what that all means. Somebody said if the Fed ended, the banks wouldn't have control over who becomes president. Something to that effect. I don't know what that means. There's got to be some truth to that, right? There's got to be some truth to that. So maybe if we got a Rand Paul, but Rand Paul's not ready. He's like a kind of weak. JJ says America doesn't necessarily have to be isolationist, but they need to pick better battles, pick their battles. Obviously, interfering in Taiwan, an island off the coast of China, is not sustainable or good politics. Yeah, and those Taiwanese are a bunch of dumb liberals anyway. You know, those Hong Kong protests too? Bunch of dumb liberals. Not all. Many of them are solid guys, I guess. But a bunch of them are just communists versus communists. Evil versus evil. Trump said all the right things, says Matt Living the Dream, to get elected. He even got Christianized on the campaign trail. Said his favorite president was Andrew Jackson. Attacked the Fed, then switched sides in office. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate that. Oh! Well, I see another super chat in there that I forgot to get to. I will get to those. Appreciate that, guys. But I have to keep moving. We're at 15 after, into the second hour. She said. Who cares what she said? She should shut up. I'm serious, though. I have some pictures and screenshots from this She Said thing. It's both a disgusting movie, promoted the wicked MeToo movement, satanic accusers. Did you know that the accuser is another name for the devil? I think it's in the Bible. Look it up. Correct me if I'm wrong. The accuser. And that's what the Me Too people are. A bunch of accusers. Gossipers. Accusers. There's even gossipers in the Christian church. I debated one of those guys on the Crucible recently about should conservatives support Ye, who I call Kanye West. I think they called him Kanye too. Should conservatives support Kanye? I say, yeah, support him where he's right. He is your fellow Christian. He is your fellow American. He's your fellow man. Moral support. Oh, he's anti-Semitic. So what? Who's not? You know what I mean? Like, who's not, quote unquote, hateful? Because there's no such thing as anti-Semitism, but everybody, even the Jewish people, don't even like each other. Otherwise, they wouldn't be mostly liberals. Nobody has any love. Everybody's a hater. But you want to cherry pick which type of hate is worse and condemnable. Yeah, you shouldn't be supporting any hatred. But support Kanye for, he's trying to stand for love. Maybe he's failing, but anyway. Accusers. That guy started accusing Kanye, Aircraft Sparky. Maybe I'll bring him on the show. Accused Kanye of like, well, he accused his ex-wife of not bearing any of his children. Hassan corrected me, but I didn't see it. Corrected him in the text during the show, but I missed it. But somebody in the chat corrected it, but we didn't say it out loud. She bore 2 children. She just didn't have the last one. It was a surrogate mother for the last one. Maybe there was, what do they have, 3 or 4 kids? 4, right? 4. She bore the last 2 she had by surrogacy. You know, she's a vain woman. What woman is not? Kim West. And accused him of like pimping out his children because one of them wore Balenciaga on a social media post, and he doesn't even have custody of his kids. And he wore a Balenciaga weird gimp mask, and I don't want to get into what gimp means. He tried to explain it to me. Something about BDSM, which is a degenerate, I don't even know what that stands for, but I know it to be like degenerate guy liking to be beat up type of a thing. Or maybe the girl likes to be beat up amidst the sex stuff. Degenerate. Sorry, kids. Sorry, adults. But anyway, accusers. So you have that accusatory spirit among even the Christians, so-called Christians. And the Bible condemns all that gossiping and rumors and backbiting and accusations and mess. It says forgiveness, unity. It speaks way more against gossip, probably equally as much as against sexual immorality, maybe more. But no. And these wicked MeToo movement people, there's nothing good about the MeToo movement, I don't think. Not inherently, anyway. Maybe, although they meant it for evil, God can bring things about for good. Yes, that's true. But it's also, so it's that movie discussed, going back to this she said, I have a couple pictures of a bus that has a wrap with she said on it, based on actual events. This is across the street from Bonn. That helps ignite a movement. JLP has talked about social movements. Will you go on the record? And it has a couple of female actresses. I guess it's redundant. Female actresses. She said. And it has some, what is that called? Silhouettes of human beings. Ooh. I say, again, who cares what she said? She should shut up. Women are always told to shut up. Well, you can speak your mind, but then be quiet afterwards. Don't keep pressing the issue. And it's also a push by Wikipedia. I have some screenshots from Wikipedia, one of my favorite websites. I know I should be using infogalactic.com, and I was looking up Harvey Weinstein, who is not a Christian, who is not a normal white, but he's much maligned by people who are every bit as bad and worse than him, but he's ugly on the outside and on the inside, I guess. Dumb liberal, celebrated by all the libs until he wasn't. They turned on him. But look at that little ad there from Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. She said, celebrating inspiring women, one wiki quote at a time. Give her a voice. Join hashtag she said today. I don't know what this is or means, but it has like this logo as a puzzle piece with a, what is that? Somewhat of a woman's, a tilted woman's sign. You know the woman's sign, the circle with the plus sign at the bottom of it, but they tilted it to the one side. And with a talking bubble inside of that thing, that female thing, and a hashtag inside of it, inside of that. Bunch of mess. Hashtag means trendy. So what does she say? Nothing but trendy trash. Bunch of meaningless, many words. Ridiculous. Jesus spoke against even praying with babbling words and many words. He said something like the heathen or the pagans or somebody think that by their many words God will hear them. Isn't that interesting? He said that. He said, don't be using vain repetition. Isn't that interesting? Jesus in the Bible. But they just babble and talk and it's empty and blah, blah, blah. As my favorite climate activist, climate anxious activist, she has climate anxiety and depression and allegedly OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, which I don't believe is necessarily real. Greta Thunberg said blah, blah, blah. And she's condemning the politicians for saying blah, blah, blah. All they ever do is talk. Well, that's all she ever does, too. You need to be quiet, young girl, young lady. Now she's a young lady. And she's not very ladylike. She's on Twitter. I covered that the other day. So anyway, that's a bunch of she said stuff. And you know who else is saying stuff? A she? Listen to this, or look at this. A woman, Representative Sara Jacobs, yesterday she tweeted a picture of herself holding a baby in the House of Representatives. Talk about desecrating the Capitol building. I thought that this was like the most sacredest place, the most sacred place. Look at her. What is that? What type of woman is that? Is she Armenian? Is she Jacobs? Is she Jewish? Jacobs is a Jewish last name? I don't know. She's Congresswoman Sara Jacobs on Twitter. Representative Sara Jacobs tweeted, "Today it feels like toddlers are running the House." You know, because in the House they're trying to elect Kevin McCarthy to beat out Hakeem Jeffries or any of the conservatives who may be up for Speaker of the House-ship. And she's tweeting a picture of her. I hope that's a little girl. Please tell me that's not a little boy with a bow on his head. I think it's a girl. She wouldn't do that. She looks like a traditional woman, except a traditional woman would not be in office as a young mother. Representative Sara Jacobs, Rep. Sarah with no H at the end. Jacobs' age. Look, there she is trying to be all pretty. She's mildly attractive there. I guess, somewhat. She's from, I want to say, California 51. I think it's the San Diego area. What's up with San Diego? How far you've fallen? Proud to represent California 51, District 51, and serve as the youngest member of the Demon Rat House leadership. Member of House Foreign Affairs and Armed Services Committees. She/her. She's 33 years old. That's Jesus' age. From Del Mar, California. She's nothing like Jesus, though. Educated at Columbia University. Let's see, early life. I got to get the early life section. Early life check. I guess that's an anti-Semitic dog whistle. We don't do that stuff. Doesn't say anything about her. Doesn't really say. Oh my gosh, she worked for the UN, UNICEF, United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund. Keep the UN away from the kids. What else about her? She worked on Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign, that failed 2016 campaign. She started a nonprofit called San Diego for Every Child, the coalition to end child poverty. So this woman, listen to her. I have a clip. Yeah, it feels like toddlers are running the House. You have a bunch of females and beta males there. And you're there. Evil woman. Here she is talking on TV, clip 12. This is from January 4th. And she tweeted this out, all proud of herself. Republicans will do anything to cling on to power, even if it means delaying progress for the American people. Yeah, right, like progress for the American people, at least positive progress, good progress, comes from Congress. And listen to this vocal fry, if you can bear it. Listen to this mess.
Members of San Diego's congressional delegation are weighing in on today's failed votes. Here's what Congresswoman Sara Jacobs said this afternoon about the impact of the disruption.
I think it's clear that there are many in the Republican Party who do not abide by the rules of the Constitution and the peaceful transition of power and are willing to do whatever it takes to get power, even if it means standing in the way of any progress for the American people. And I think that's what we saw 2 years ago, and that's what we're seeing right now. And look, I'll be honest, I was very much looking forward to a normal swearing in. My family didn't get to be here 2 years ago because of COVID, and they all came in here today, and I still have never had a real swearing in with a real ceremonial swearing in picture. But I think at the end of the day, what matters the most is that we're able to actually get to work on what the American people asked us to do, which is address the high cost of living. And that's what we in the Democratic caucus are going to stay focused on doing.
Congresswoman Jacobs also noted House Democrats are united behind Representative Hakeem Jeffries, who is now serving as House Minority Leader. He is the first black politician to lead either party in Congress.
What kind of a name is Hakeem? Hakeem Sekou Jeffries. You know his parents hated America and white people to call him Hakeem, right? What's his early life check? He was born in New York City, Brooklyn Hospital, to Lynetta Jeffries. It's a relatively nice but black-sounding name. And Marland Jeffries, a nice black-sounding, normal American name. And so they call him Hakeem Peku Sekou Jeffries. What a joke of a person, too, born in 1970. But anyway, this woman, I think the American people want to... Sorry, guys. That's rough. That vocal fry. She doesn't belong there. Oh, Republicans don't want to abide by the rules of the Constitution. You're a Democrat. You don't care about the Constitution, you poser. At the end of the day, that's $100 if you were on Bill O'Reilly's show. Based boomer Bill O'Reilly. I throw around the term based, joking around a little bit. But I like Bill O'Reilly a little bit, even though he has his issues. But he says, at the end of the day, that's a cliche, and you get fined for using cliches at the end of the day. At the end of what day? Stupid woman. Sorry, kids. Phony male politicians talk just like this. Vocal fry is something that I learned from Kelly, the Hollywood Updates young lady from the Jesse Lee Peterson show back in the day. She covered these Valley Girl types, these, I don't know if Kardashians did it, but at the end of their talk, they would go into that. And so girls think that's cute to be like that. It's so genuine. Not. O'Reilly is a sellout. Yeah. Still, I like him for what he is. I have no huge expectation, but, he's... Tucker's solid, though, man. Tucker replaced him. His spot. And I like Tucker Carlson, too. Nice. So, yeah, it's not going to get better. Like, to JLP's point, I was talking with a man, an older man, a boomer, a relatively conservative boomer, and he was just kind of shocked and surprised and amazed at how bad off the level of trust he has toward our institutions, FBI and others, working with Twitter behind the scenes. Oh, that's how we deal with all companies. That doesn't make me feel better, is what this boomer man said. And I love boomers. And he talked about I think he might have talked about Congress and just how there's no trust in the government. There's no trust. And yes, there is no trust. And what came to mind, and I didn't mention it to him, is that we have a bunch of women there. Women are not solid, trustworthy. I know men are not, but even more so, women are not. Women don't start wars. Yes, they do. Women are weak and shaky, even the Republican women, in many ways. So, and the males are becoming more like the women. Hey, stop crying. So, yeah, I mean, what do you expect? Of course it's going to get worse and even less trustworthy. Like in the Supreme Court, it had been unheard of that there was a leak before they were going to get... There was a leak in the Supreme Court that they were going to get rid of the Roe v. Wade joke of a decision. And that had been unprecedented. Maybe if we had men there would not have been a leak. You know what I mean? Things are less stable. Women are not stable. Men are not stable nowadays either, but women are very much not stable. They're even less stable. And they're taking over. And then the males are kissing up to them. Don't worry your pretty little heads, ladies. People in the chat are saying that Nick Fuentes is FBI. 100% a Fed. I don't know how that came out. Anyway, I don't think so. Whatever. Yeah, it's like, so like JLP says, it's not going to get better. So, you know what else is silly? Obese is a slur. Had you heard that? This is silly. This is another she said type of a thing. I saw this tweet shared on the right-wing Twitter. Leah with the radical homosexual flag emoji. Why don't they have a beautiful Confederate rebel flag emoji? A nice Christian American, beautiful South flag, rebel flag emoji. No, they have to have this hate, disgusting-filled, perverted emoji. Radical homosexual rainbow flag emoji. Leah on Twitter. She's 24 years old, according to this Twitter bio. A she, her. Don't harass her, guys. Except for Brandon M, because he does it in the right way. Harass her with love. Shout out to Brandon M. And thanks for the support, man. She's a she, her on Twitter. That means she's stupid. Sorry, kids. Don't say that too much. Fat vegan leftist, according to her. A grad student. Oh, gosh. Everybody's a grad student. What's she studying? And she has a cat? Oh, beautiful cat. Joined in 2014 when she was probably, 16 years old on Twitter. And she tweeted this. The term obese is a slur because it is used to dehumanize us and harass us. It's not because our feelings are hurt by an accurate description, quote unquote. It is an outdated term that does more harm than good. And as such, it should be eradicated. That's it. And under Elon Musk's Twitter, you can add context to tweets. And so the people added context to the tweet. Obese is a technical term, according to the WHO. That's the evil UN's corrupt WHO, World Health Organization. Overweight and obesity are defined as abnormal or excessive fat accumulation that presents a risk to health. A body mass index, BMI, over 25 is considered overweight, and over 30 is considered obese. BMI, 25, is that 25%? I don't know. So the evil UN's corrupt WHO is more accurate than this poor little SJW 24-year-old, she, her. Mildly attractive. Look at her. For a fat little girl. If you're young and fat, it's kind of cute maybe. A little bit. Maybe I shouldn't say that because I don't want to encourage it. Of course, old, you don't want to be too skinny. Show some more pictures of this gal. Impromptu car photo shoot since Oregon rained out my grad photos. See, she looks better with a little less makeup on. Her Twitter profile picture has too much makeup on. Maybe that's a lot of makeup too, I can't tell. Yeah, she's chunky. But funky. Right? Dirty blonde hair. I don't know if that's natural. So anyway. Terrible. Oh, she replied to her tweets. She gave a whole Twitter thread, actually. What did she say? Oh, she said, she turned off replies. See, that's too much makeup. It looks silly. Doesn't look right. I don't like white girls having way too much eyeshadow. It doesn't look right for the most part. Who can reply? People who Hutch Leah follows or mentioned can reply. So she turned off replies. Understandable. This seems to me making the rounds in bigoted circles. Fat people have always existed and will always exist. Reminds me of what Jesus said. That came to mind last night. The poor you will always have with you. So the war on poverty is stupid because it's a lie, because the poor you will always have with you. And it's a fact. People find a way to mess themselves up. I almost said a different word. Fat people have always existed and will always exist. Fear-mongering, a normal human variation, does not work on me. But while you're here and not harassing another fat person who might not be able to handle it, so go off, she said. So she thinks that she can handle it. Ob blank, blip, see, she's put an asterisk instead of an E in the middle of the word obese, is a slur because it's a term used to degrade and dehumanize. Can you get rid of me? I can't read the whole thing. Sorry, guys. Dehumanize everyday lingo and medical spaces to trivialize our care and treatment. Never denied it was a quote-unquote medical term. There are so many other terms that are medical but offensive. Stay mad, fat phobes. She's like using a slur on the people who are scared of fat people. Fake heart thing. You know, the less than 3 thing that forms a heart. Like she has any love. You don't have any love, you support the radical homosexual agenda. I see your radical homosexual flag emoji. It's a mess from a purportedly white girl. Let's look at some mess. How about let's look at some mess from the purportedly black girls? How about that? Or gals. This is from clownworld_. I meant to get to this the other day. Let's get to some clips, right? Clip 14. Not sure when or where this took place. When or where. Maybe it's a deep fake. Seems unusual. Not. Sorry. This is a 34-second clip of a black girl tearing up a store. And what did she say? I bleeped out the cuss words, hopefully, kids. And so listen to this and watch and enjoy. Entertainment from the blacks. Females.
Right? You came up on your camera, right?
She's moving stuff off the shelves.
Because like I said, I asked for help, right? I asked for help.
What's she doing?
And nobody wants to
What is she doing?
help.
Whoa.
Right?
Ooh.
Now y'all got some cleaning up stuff off this. You know what? No. Since y'all can't find it.
She had a nice voice. I like that. Strong voice. Since y'all can't find it. She's just knocking stuff off the shelves, including like liquid and stuff. What is that, detergent or something? And there's a white woman, fatter white woman. I don't know when this was. She's wearing shorts and, you know, a tank top or something. Wearing a mask below her mouth, not covering her nose and mouth. Ruined the flowers, according to Hassan. Good catch, man. Is this the Walgreens on Robertson and Pico? Asks Nicolas, Nick Stream. Looks just like, yeah, you know what? It reminded me of a Walgreens. Walgreens have like this corner doorway over down in El Monte on Valley Boulevard. I thought that it was the Walgreens there, but I don't know blacks to go there. And I don't know older, fatter ladies to be manning the store trying to calm down the black girl. Oh, that's just Tarkeisha tripping again, says Big Bump. How do you know her name? Didn't she have a nice voice, though? At one point, you could hear her clearly. Y'all can't find it. I almost want to play it again, but no. Excuse me. So that's that black girl tearing up the store. And it's very unusual, but there's another black young lady tearing up street vendors in L.A., and this was over a year ago. So yeah, I'm cherry-picking old clips just to make the blacks look bad. No, but it's not to make them look bad. It's just to show some entertainment. This is from I disavow this username, Karen's Gone Wild, using a slur, the K slur for white women. Shameful. But this is a flashback. Remember that black lady? Remember her? Tearing up the street vendors stuff in L.A.? Black and brown, getting along. Not. Of course, some blacks would disavow this. Such behavior. This is a 43-second clip, and I bleeped one cuss that I came across. I don't know if she cussed elsewhere, but it shows various footage. It has a TikTok clip in it. Enjoy. Or not.
This happened today. to sell tacos to their workers in South LA. This is just another example of what our street vendors have to endure on a daily basis. But wow, this is something else.
Black women yelling at people.
Hey,
Whoa.
hey, you
Assault.
you cannot hit them.
You cannot hit. No hit. She's spitting. Oh. Obese black lady. I use the term lady
What
loosely.
mean people do to hardworking people?
Oh yeah, mean people. That's a nice.
We got tacos, Bessie! Burritos! We got...
That's not a nice voice. I like Tarkisha's voice better. She had a younger voice. I don't like that harsh, burritos. I don't know if that was a homeless woman, black woman. What mean people? Okay. What are they called now? Teens. Well, that woman was not a teen. You know, teen is a buzzword for black. Mean people, buzzword for mean black lady. Hardworking people. Those street vendors. Sometimes you get sick from their stuff. And, you know, some screenshots that I want to share. This is one screenshot in particular. This is from Citizen Free Press. Some blacks. I think they were blacks, I'm assuming. This is from Citizen Free Press. It was a tweet. It was a video footage. Chicago has a brand, says Citizen Free Press. And this Prius pulls up. I think it's a Prius. You know, this Toyota half-electric car hybrid thing. And the occupants get out and shoot up this Chevy Malibu. Am I making that up? I don't know what brand of cars these are, make and model. I don't know. But I'm just calling it a Chevy Malibu. And it gets shot up. Look at this guy holding is that an AK or an AR? I think it might be an AK. With my AK, I'm still the thug that you love to hate. And he shot up this. I think they killed this person. That's why I didn't want to show it. It's so violent. Maybe I should have blacked out the gun. Are we too faint of heart to see a picture of a gun on the Hake Report? The Hake Report is such a liberal show. This Prius pulls up and like 2 or 3 guys get out and shoot up this driver at this gas station on this rainy evening, presumably in Chi-Town, Chicago. Contrarian put out this. Chicago Contrarian put out the video. It looks like it's some cell phone video of a security cam footage. Oh my gosh, the guy's probably dead or severely, seriously wounded. Again, I don't have the details right. I made up the Chevy Malibu thing. But doesn't that look kind of like a Prius? And maybe it's not even a Prius. Terrible. That's even worse than the black ladies. Because the black ladies were just causing mess in stores and vendors' stuff, messing up businesses. But these people are actually killing one another. In a sense, you could call that worse, right? In a sense, murder is worse than mere spiritual murder. Raised in a single mom home, suggests Canadian David. That's speculation, man. You don't know that. Might be a fair guess. Hake, don't you have a Prius? I don't answer questions like that. It's a personal question. That might be just a rumor, Red Dirt Farm. You shouldn't listen to gossip and rumors. Because frequently those are mischaracterized and not true. And also it's not manly to listen to rumors. But maybe he's just joking. Shout out to Red Dirt Farm. Nice to see ya, man. Hake is a Chevy man, says kill the ego. The driver is dead. The other one got shot in the leg and is in the hospital, Hake. Thank you, Nugget Man. How do you know that? Nugget Man all over it. That's cool. Let's cover something lighter before I get to calls. Some more violence, which I, of course, disavow. Asian attacking a black kid. Asian kid attacking a black kid. Black versus Asian fight. Asian fights back. Asian fights black. I have some screenshots. This is from Asian Dawn numeral 4. The Asian kid wins, apparently. At least in this little short clip scene. I'm not going to show the clip because I disavow violence of many kinds. But finally, an Asian's taking a stand and defending themselves. So there's one Asian who is like, he goes up, and I don't know, is his face all bloody? Fat little Asian boy, not that little. Here he is in his orange dyed hair, looking silly, with black style pants and hiking boots or work boots, wearing all black, and he goes up to this black kid who's wearing like a lavender purple hoodie, black young man, and I use the term man loosely, who has his braids, and the braids were a big mistake for this fight. With his light-colored stonewashed blue jeans, I don't know, stonewashed. Details may not be accurate. Bright, and the kid, the Asian kid with the funny hair, grabs the black kid's funny hair, and he gets him in a headlock and just, and of course I'm not showing the video footage because the video footage is too graphic. We don't like to show violence, right? The Asian kid is winning. He's fatting and winning. May even have a height disadvantage to the black kid. Black kid's pants are a little low. And the Asian kid won that round. So good on you. Stop Asian hate. Terrible. Terrible. I don't know but doesn't it look like his face might be bleeding? So, whatever. I cannot necessarily disavow that. This reminds me, there's another screenshot out in the main folder there, Hassan. Just a little quick thing. I saw this when I was perusing YouTube. Emory University. White rage. Stupid. From Emory University YouTube channel. 4 years ago, I just happened across it. I didn't watch it. Has an unentertaining, which is hard to do, black woman on it. White rage, the unspoken truth of our nation's divide. I think I have it in the main folder there. What did I call it? White rage, probably. Yeah, white rage, black lady. 5.3 million views. Look at this. Yeah, okay. This lady's going to tell us about white rage. The unspoken truth of our nation's divide. It reminded me of that sleazy guy whom Trump hired. He was a general. We thought, oh, Trump is appointing these manly men. Look at her. She doesn't look very white. She looks like she may have some rage. She does have a Hillary Clinton hairstyle. A little bob. Would you call that mildly attractive for an older, fatter black lady? I don't know. I don't really like that look on her. Is that her hair, though? It might be. Gray. Zoom out a little bit so we can take in the full haircut. She's wearing like this pantsuit, weird thing, blazer, wannabe. Women. What a joke. Trying to look all serious and businesslike and professorial. I guess she's a professor, probably, right? Or speaking at a university, I guess. With her hands up. White rage. Big old black woman. There's this male. I'm blanking on his name, but he's all, I want to understand white rage. General Mark Milley or something like that? Milley? I want to understand white rage. And he's a white man himself, male. Looks like a man. Zoom all the way out because I want to capture the full title of this YouTube video again. Unspoken truth of our nation's, what is it, divide? Is that what it says? Yeah, our nation's divide. Emory University. 5.3 million views. You know YouTube propped that up. Maybe it has a lot of dislikes. Probably has more dislikes than likes because YouTube viewership is pretty solid sometimes. 4 years ago. Ridiculous. Why not have a white nationalist speak on his feeling about things rather than have it third hand from a woman who doesn't even love white people? Probably she doesn't look like she loves white people. Maybe I'm just profiling, but I don't think that she loves white people based on the context that I'm getting from this thing. White rage. Meanwhile, they like Hake, almost attractive. They like falsely validate, and blacks have no reason to be angry. No reason whatsoever to be angry in America. Except that they're raised wrong by their parents and fed the lie of imaginary racism. They have no reason for that. But no, all the kiss-ups, somebody kissing up to you, that makes you mad too. So then, yeah, I guess that would make you mad. So then you got to cut them some slack. But still, I like JLP's statement that there is never a reason to be angry. And yeah, whites don't like losing their country to the people worse than them. God said to some of the Israelites in the past, you will be taken over by people who are lesser than you. I think he said something to that effect. And that's what's happened to the whites in their countries. Because the whites are weak and letting it happen, huh? It's not fitting for a woman to be all in a pantsuit talking and being fat and old and trying to talk about other white people whose country that you've polluted with your mess. Not fitting. By the way, speaking of women's looks in the Clintons, someone in the Facebook crew the other day thought that I said that Chelsea Clinton was mildly attractive. I didn't say that. I meant Hillary at one point was mildly attractive. Maybe even, no, not more than mildly. She was mildly attractive. I was never a fan of Chelsea Clinton's look. And I'm easy to please. Not to be mean. So just to clarify that, guys, man, we are at 5 minutes till, and I have a rule that I cannot get to any more calls at 5 minutes till. William in California wanted to talk about whites don't want to live next to blacks. Yeah, and it's understandable. And Art in Ohio wanted to talk about those videos are important and keep speaking. I appreciate that, guys. I will get to you and the rest of the callers another day. I have to read some super chats before I close out and introduce the last song of the day. But thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Jordanos gave a super chat saying, Hassan, Yeezy, and Joel are more presentable than Chris was. Ever since Hassan came on, it's been fun, and he loves Jesse. Stylish Hassan. Well, that's nice, Jordanos. I don't like to compare people. But anyway. Yeah, I appreciate Hassan big time, for sure. Chef Gummy D says San Diego is becoming gay beyond repair. SD used to be pretty. Now it's barely split-y. Oh, and Geronimo was giving some anti-Trump messages as well. Maybe I'll read some of those another time. But thank you, Geronimo, over there on Odyssey. Hassan says, thank you, bud, to Jordanos. Thank you, bud. Appreciate it. So, guys, appreciate you. And this has been the Hake Report. I'm going to have to cover some other things tomorrow, Friday. This is In Praise of Folly. Christmas song. Lujo Records. Adios, America. Men's Forum tonight. Bye.
Sweaters. He never even wraps it or hides it under trees.